Hey guys, on today's episode of Buy or Pass, we're going to take a look at Nvidia's most recent earnings. So let's dive in. Hey guys, my name's Jose and this is another episode of Buy or Pass. In this series, I will look at the financial documents of a company and decide if I was looking for another investment, would I buy or would I pass? Before we start, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to get info on new episodes and other videos. So let's begin. So like always guys, this is going to be a two-part episode. Like I mentioned earlier in the episode, today is going to be an Nvidia episode. So originally for part one, we're going to take a look at the information they posted on the investors website, and we're going to take a look at their conference call transcript. I already took the liberty of reading both files. I highlighted the important information that I grabbed from them, and then hopefully you guys don't have to read these papers over and over, and I hope you guys it saves times for you. The next episode is going to be part two, which I will post tomorrow, and there we're going to take a look at the actual numbers of Nvidia and see how they're really doing, right? Because here we just get to understand what's going on with the company, but in the next episode we get to see how the actual numbers are moving. They start off with the first quarter ended this is the first quarter of 2020. First quarter ended $2.2 billion revenue compared to 3.21 billion a year earlier and 2.21 billion in the previous quarter. All right, so we can see this definitely company has taken a huge hit after the big decline in gaming sector. We can see almost a $1 billion loss, not loss, but less revenue compared to same time a year ago. That was a huge hit for them, and it's pretty crazy to see that going on. So here we have Nvidia. They talk about their upward trajectory, where they see return in growth in gaming, and they have nearly 100 new GeForce Max Q laptops shipping, and then Nvidia RTX has gained broad industry support, making ray tracing and standard for next generation gaming. So they're just this is I think what got the stock jumping pretty high on when earnings came out. Here it makes it seem like there's this huge upward trajectory for Nvidia, but we'll take a look at the numbers. There's not really much gain happening right now, and that's what we find out in the conference call, and it's something that I think really spiked up and then did that spike down with the prices during earning. They continue to mention that application of AI continues to accelerate. We have seen that through all the businesses, Google, AMD, and all the other tech, Microsoft. AI is definitely something they're investing pretty heavy on. So there, we can see here from the actual suppliers of the products needed to do AI, the application for AI continues to accelerate. They are exciting on their pending acquisition of Mellanox, which will help them drive data center architecture for high performance computing and AI from the cloud to the edge. So this is going to be a big acquisition if it happens, and I think later on they mentioned that it's supposed to happen by the end of the year. Nvidia intends to return $3.3 billion to shareholders by the end of 2020, including a $700 million in share purchase buyback made during the fourth quarter of 2019. In the first quarter, the company returned almost $100 million in quarterly cash dividends. So we can see if they're going to return $3 billion, including a $700 million. That's 2.3 and about 400 million in shareholder dividend. They have about 1.9 billion dollars to actually give back to the shareholders in some other matters besides dividends. So let's continue what we see. So these are some guidance for the second quarter of 2020. So here for 2020, they expect revenue to be $2.55 billion dollars. And if we take a look here, these are the previous charts. So this year was 2.22. They expect what do they expect? 2.55. So the last time we saw numbers like that would be between quarter 2 of 2018, which would be 2 years ago exactly. So I was taking a look at the price at what Nvidia was at 2 years ago. So that would be 2017, right? It would be March, May of 2017. So during that time, that's 2018. So here we keep going. So between May of 2017, it was sitting at about $141 to 100, between 130 to 106.70. So if we're around there, same revenue wise, but with a lot more earnings, then definitely, in my opinion, we should be at a higher price than where we are now. Um, let's continue to see what we saw in there. They talk about their gross margin expects to be 59.2. Um, Operating expenses are expected to be 985 million, 765 million GAAP and non-GAAP. Other income expenses are both expected to become approximately 27 million. Then they talk about some highlights going on from the company. The most important highlight they talk about is the announcement reached on Mellanox technology at $125 per share in cash. That's a lot of money, approximately $7 billion once everything is complete. The transaction is expected to close by the end of calendar year. They also talk about their biggest sectors, the data center, gaming. So in the data sector, they introduced a few new cards and items. They introduced the NVIDIA CUDA X AI platform for accelerating data science. They announced availability of NVIDIA's T4 Sensors Core GPUs from leading OEMs as well as Amazon's Web Services. Partner with top global system builders to create powerful data centers. Launched beta access to NVIDIA's Quadro Virtual. Teamed up with American College of Radiology to use NVIDIA Cloud's AI Toolkit to enable members across the US to create and use AI for diagnostic radiology in their own facilities. So we can see right from the data centers they have a few big hits, but in my opinion, none of these are really a crazy hit except these NVIDIA T4 sensors availability from leading OEMs as well as Amazon's Web Service. That, in my opinion, is a big hit. In gaming, they introduced a few new graphics cards. They introduced the 1660 Ti, the 1660, and the 1650, which were lower priced gaming cards, and they did sell pretty well. They announced a record number, like mentioned, of gaming laptops. Um, and they also announced the real tracing is now integrated in Unreal and Unity, the world's most popular commercial game engine. So that's actually pretty good. A good way for Nvidia to continue having a lot of the developers develop using Nvidia's cards, and they already put ray tracing on the two biggest platforms for game development, and Unity and Unreal. They continue to talk, but the only other one I want to talk about is automotive. They partner with Toyota's research advanced development to develop, train, and validate self-driving vehicles. So right there, they're doing machine learning. They did unveil the NVIDIA Drive AP2X, a complete level 2 automated driving solution, autopilot software, HEX validation tools. So here they're definitely pretty big in the AI sector for automotive, and it's pretty impressive. But I'm pretty sure they can use this AI elsewhere, but I'm guessing right now driving cars is where the money is at. They did launch some edge computing, launched Jetson Nano. They announced the free public availability of their SDKs. So here they definitely have big stuff, but nothing to me that's really screaming out. The only thing screaming out to me was the partner with top global systems to create data science center and the data centers, as well as availability of NVIDIA's T4 Tensor Core GPU on Amazon's Web Service, and the automotive. From here, let's see what else we have. Uh, and again, here I just want to show you guys right the difference on how this past quarter was sitting at 2.2 billion compared to last year's same quarter sitting at 3.2 billion. this company was making money, and then we had that drop off happening. So we're gonna close this, and next we're gonna take a look at their conference call and see what they had to say. We start off, let's see if we can find where we're at. So here they announced that they are pleased with the initial ramp of Turing, which is their GTX platform, and the reduction of inventory in the channel. So their new products did sell good. The new product launches this quarter included the GeForce 1660 Ti, 1660, and 6050, which brings Turing to a high-volume PC gaming side for both desktop and laptops. These GPUs deliver up to 50% improvement over their Pascal based. So again, pretty impressive, these cards. I looked at the numbers. They are pretty great compared to the previous Pascal cards. This year's OEM have built a record of nearly 100 G4 gaming laptops. G4 laptops start at $800 all the way up to an amazing RTX 2080 4K laptops. The more powerful than even the next generation console. Right, we have a lot of PC gamers here, and it's good to know that that laptop is stronger than even the next generation consoles. Next, let's see where we're at. New products, we talked about that. Oh no, we didn't talk about that. So GeForce Now is a GeForce. They talked about this earlier. GeForce Now service and the newly announced line. So GeForce Now is a GeForce gaming PC in the cloud for 1 billion PCs that are not game ready, expanding their reach well beyond today's 200 million GeForce gamer. So with GeForce Gaming Now, it opens the platform to allow gamers to play the games they own instantly in cloud on any PC, anywhere they like. So it currently has 300,000 monthly active users, with 1 million more on the waitlist. So again, this is pretty big news for them moving into the cloud gaming section. Moving to data center, revenue was 634 million, down 10% year to year and down 7% quarter to quarter. But that's pretty good. They definitely have a lot of money on data center, and they are upgrading stuff, so that's not a huge thing to see. Amazon and Alibaba joined other hyperscale such as Google, Baidu, and Tencent in adopting the T4 in their data center. So we saw the T4 GPUs. A growing list of consumer internet companies are also adopting GPUs for influences including LinkedIn, Expedia, Microsoft, PayPal, Pinterest, Snap, and Twitter. So here we can see how they are getting big companies, contracts, and the contribution of interference to our data center revenue is now well into the double-digit percentage. Second, they expanded their reach in enterprise, teaming up with major OEMs to introduce the T4 enterprise and edge computing service. So we can see this company is definitely on the grind right now. So see, that's what else they do. Another thing they did is they made significant progress in data center rendering and graphics. They do talk about, I think, give me 1 second. So again, with Mellanox, Nvidia will optimize. So here, it is a creative and smart reason for them to get Mellanox, but I'm not sure if the price is right. Nvidia will optimize data center scale workloads across the entire computing network and storage stack to achieve higher performance, greater utilization, and lower operating costs for customers. And together they can create better AI computing systems for cloud to enterprise to the edge. They're looking forward to the acquisition to close by the end of the year. So again, I like this when a company is ready to buy and they already know what they're going to do with their assets. It's pretty crazy how there's some companies that just buy companies and don't really know how to lead the company. So here we can see that they know where they're ready to go once they have Mellanox on them. They announced that world's top 3D application providers have adopted NVIDIA's RTX in their product releases, including Adobe, Autodesk, they also saw, and Pixar. So again, this is pretty crazy. And here they talk that render images up to 4 times faster in their products. So we can see this Nvidia's RTX unit is definitely a killer unit. Next, we talk about to help make the division to make a reality. Nvidia has created an end-to-end platform for autonomous vehicles, from AI computing to simulate to in-car computing. And Toyota is their first major win that validates the strategy. And they see this as a 30 billion addressable market by 2025. So if they continue to be in this AI computing infrastructure, we know Tesla is not going to give out any of that information. They want it all to themselves. But Nvidia is there and is ready to give out these products for a price. So again, that I think is a great thing. What else do we have? So while they anticipate, this is actually pretty interesting. While they anticipate substantial quarter-to-quarter growth for quarter two, outlook is somewhat lower than expectations earlier in the quarter, when our outlook to 20 revenue was flat to down slightly from 2019 physical. So here they're mentioning, right, that revenue is going to be a lot lower than they expected, and unfortunately because of that, I do think this company could end up being cheaper and lower compared to the current stock price. The data center spending paused around the world will likely persist in the second quarter and remain low. In gaming, the CPU shortage, while improving, will affect the initial round of their laptop business. So there is a shortage in CPUs, which means that less laptops will be sold with the Nvidia's GPU. For quarter two, they expect revenue to be 2.55 billion plus or minus 2%, and they expect a stronger second half than first half. And they return to practice providing revenue only one quarter at a time. So that's pretty scary in my opinion, that they are changing that. They used to give you full year outlook, and now they're only giving you to the next quarter. Obviously, under their part, it's a smart thing. They don't have to be guessing at what they have to do further on in the future, except this quarter coming up. Let's see what else. Do we have anything else? Actually, no, that's it for today on Nvidia. They do have a lot of cool stuff, but at the moment, there's not one thing that is driving me crazy to go and buy Nvidia. We'll take a look at the numbers in the next episode, and maybe I'll find something there. Like I said, guys, don't forget to subscribe so you guys get updates on the second episode that will be posted. Good night, people, and see you tomorrow.